Hello there, it's Colin. Today's project in Scratch is going to be Stressball. Let's get cracking. So in your browser window, if you search for Raspberry Pi projects, and then we're going to click on Code Club, and then on the right hand side down here we've got a look after yourself section, and the very first project on this list is going to be Stressball. What I propose to do is do videos on all of these projects in this list here. So this is a Raspberry Pi's offering for some projects that are meant to make you think about doing stuff to help you look after yourself. So anyway, we're going to click on the Stressball project, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a demonstration of what this project's all about. So if I press the green flag here, we're just going to squeeze our stress ball, and as we squeeze them, we get smaller. Okay, so what are you going to need? You're going to need a computer. You can either do this online or offline. Today I'm going to do this online. And what are you going to learn? You're going to learn about how to add code to sprites and a backdrop. You're going to learn how to use the tools in the paint editor to edit the details, or to add details to a sprite. And you're going to learn how to add graphic effects and sounds to a sprite. If you're an older coder and there's some things on here, some other experimental stuff you'd like to do, I don't mind. But what I would say is if you can share your work with me, we can all have a look and then give you some feedback on what you've done. This is a nice project to have a go at doing. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, the next thing we're going to do then is we're going to go to the next page. And on this page here, we've got all the instructions we need. There's a link on this page here to go to the project, which if I click there, and I'll just show you how I set my screen up. So I'm going to grab hold of my tab at the top here and just pull it down. So this window is now separated. And if I hold down the window key and press the right hand arrow key, that makes that window fill the right hand side of my screen. In the background you can see my project instructions. If I click on there and then click on the window and the left arrow key, then I get my instructions on the left hand side of the page. That's too much room for instructions, so I'm just going to squidge that over like so, and that stuff in the middle is me recording, don't worry about that. We'll hide that over and then bring that over to the page like that. So that's how my screen is going to be set up, and I propose to set it up like this for all the projects I do with you. If you want to sign into the Raspberry Pi, you can sign in there. That will save your work. It's also recommended that you sign into Scratch, and then your work is saved in Scratch, so it appears in your stuff. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a ball sprite. So the sprites are different things we make on the screen. The cat here is called a sprite. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of the cat. So press the X on the sprite just here, and that's the cat gone. I'm going to follow down the instructions, so if you want to go ahead, you're welcome to do so. You've got the link for the instructions, which are in the details below the video. If you like to tick things off, you can tick these off, and then that makes the page go a little bit grey. So we've done that. We've done the get rid of the cat, and now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new sprite to our project. So the add a new sprite thing is the option down here to choose a sprite. It looks like a cat, and click that, and then we get a picture here of all the sprites we have available. We're looking for a ball. Well, I can see it on the screen here. I could type ball into the box up there, but I can see the one I want, so I'm just going to click on ball there, and I've now added a ball to my project. This ball's a little bit small, so the way we can change the size, more than one way of changing the size. In fact, there's normally more than one way of doing most things in Scratch, so if you can find other ways, that's really good. The first way is if I double click on this box here, it says size, and change that to 200. That's going to make my ball twice as big as it was beforehand. The other way we can change the size of an object is by going down to the looks block in the just sitting on the desktop over here, and we can change its size by double clicking in here under this block here. We don't have to drag it onto the table, we can just work with it there, and I'm just going to change that to 400 and then just click on it and you'll see the ball goes really big. How big will it go? Well, you can experiment with any of this. Let's try 4,000 or 400,000. What happens? Oh, that's huge. Okay, but we will just want 200 for our project. If you can hear some purring in the background, that's my cat that's just joined me. Okay, so the next thing we can do is we're going to save our project. So you can go to File and Save Now. Oh, let's give it a name first of all instead of Untitled 33. And this was Stressball. Stressball. And then File and Save Now, and that's that project saved. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a face to our project. Oh, looks like I've been down here already. We're going to add a face to our project, so we're going to change the costumes. So on the costumes tab here, we've got a whole number of different balls. We don't need them all, but we're going to paint a face onto our ball here. First thing we're going to do is going to click on the fill color chooser, which is this pot of paint option here. And we want to change that to be black, so we can change the color here to be black. That's black enough for me. Then we're going to click on the circle tool. The circle tool is this one here. So having set up our circle and for it to be filled, we can now go and draw ourselves an eye. So just click, hold down the mouse pointer and then click and draw yourself an eye. And if you want to leave it a little twist, you can give it a little twist. If you want to stretch it in any direction, you just grab a hold of one of the little corners and then stretch it. Okay. If you make a mistake, you can press the undo option, which is this arrow up here. So let's say I want to put it back to where it was. Let's just say I'm messing around here and oh, that's in the wrong place. Just press the undo button. It'll just go back to where it was. I'd like to keep that eye there. I'm going to duplicate that. I think I can duplicate it. So Control C, Control V allows me to give it an exact copy of the same one I've done. So I hold down the Control key and C to copy, and then Control and V to paste. If you can't quite manage that, just draw yourself another circle. If I give that a little spin now, and then I'm going to put that over there, and that's my two eyes of my ball, my stress ball. We're now going to draw a mouth. That's almost the same as a circle, so if I just grab hold of this one and do Control C and Control V again, and then I can make it bigger, drag it down to mouth position, give it a little swizz, and then we're going to save your project. So let's File. Actually, there's another way of saving things. That's up the top here, so that's Save Now at the top. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to squash it. So now we're going to add some code to our project. Actually, I'm going to make my mouth a little bit squishier, so it's like a bit more like theirs. Okay, but you can do whatever you like. You can do your own. You can use a different color ball. You can use different shaped eyes. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to go to the code block now, which is on the right-hand side up here, and then we're going to add a when this sprite is clicked. So that's an event. So when this sprite is clicked to our desktop, we're going to set color effect to. Just move on down the page here. So this is on the left hand side is how we want this to look. Set color effect to 0. So looks is under color, set color is under looks. So set color to 0, just stick that on there. And then in the color option here we want whirl. And then it should like this. We're going to change the whirl effect to 100. 100, and we're going to add a sound, so that's under sound. I'm going to drag in, add sound until done. We want to add in boing. And then the next thing we want to do is just test our little project out. So if we click on our ball now, that seems to be working reasonably well. It doesn't go back the other way yet and doesn't get smaller because we haven't coded it. While you're here, you might want to have a little experiment with some of the other things that are in the box here. So I'm just going to experiment with a couple. So there's a mosaic one there. Let's click that and see what happens there. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go back to whirl, click on it. Okay, so we've obviously got to reset that first of all, so we'll see how we do that in a moment. And also there's some different noises there, and also if you wanted to you could record your own noise, but that's probably for something for another day. Alright, to clear the graphics effects now, we're going to go and get the clear graphics effects, which is going to be under looks, down the bottom here. So now if I down the bottom now, if I now click on it, it goes back to the original shape. Now I can change that back to, what was it? Whirl. What does fisheye do? Okay. Looks like some fun to be had there. So, yep, you can have some fun with that. So we've got this instruction on the left here now. If yours is doing something different, there's only 4 blocks of code here, so it should be reasonably easy to make sure your code looks like what's on the left here. Save it again. Right, now the next thing we're going to do is when we make the ball shrink. So we're going to add a change size by under when the block is clicked. So that's under looks, and it's change size by. I'm going to stick it straight on the top there, and we want to change. Well, let's just click that, see what happens when we click that, shall we? Without following the instructions. Okay, that's making my ball get bigger. Instructions say change it to -50. So what does -50 do? That's going to make the ball shrink. Oh, it's getting really small now. Alright. Now the next thing we need to do is add another control to set the ball back to its original size. So all the time I've been clicking on it, it's been getting smaller. But now we need to put something on the bottom to set it back to 200%. So it's already in this box here. Set size to 200%. Right, now let's click it. Oh, incidentally, I can either click the sprite, I can click the block of code here. Both do the same thing. Save. Right, adding a better sound effect. I quite like the boing actually. So we're going to go and add some different sounds in now. So Scratch comes with a big heap of interesting sounds. So you go to the Sounds tab at the top here, and then if you come down to the library down here where it says Choose a Sound, and there's an option at the top here clicking Wacky Sounds. Oh, let's just go back a minute. Can we go back? Didn't get a chance to test it out, did we? If you press the little play button in the corner, you get a chance to sample the sounds. We want the squeaky toy sound. So I'll bring that in. I clicked on pluck beforehand, so what does that sound like? Yeah, we don't need that, so just highlight it and then press the delete button and that goes away. And now we're going to change the code on because we brought this sound in on this sound tabs here. When we go back to our code, in the drop down box here, it's going to have the squeaky sound toy sound in there. And we've got play squeaky toy sound until done. So our code looks like that. Save your project. Challenge, improve your stress ball. Okay, so we're being invited now to add some different effects to our ball. Looks like I'm going to give it some hair. So let's have a look at our ball. Go to costumes. I'm going to grab hold of the paintbrush option here. This colour's a bit dark. So I'm going to give mine. So I've clicked on the paintbrush option. I can change the size of my paintbrush here. So I'm going to go to, let's go delete that. Let's make it 2. I now get a very small paintbrush. How big a paintbrush will it go? Let's try 50. See what happens on 50. Oh, that's really big. Just experiment. Get yourself used to the idea of what the different things you can do are. Let's try 5. Yep. Let's have another colour, shall we? I'm going to give him some eyebrows. And I think because I got a tooth missing, I'm going to give him actually, if I go for a square, oh, I need to be the fill. Really bright, really low. Okay, and make the outline the same. Okay, so now I've got a gappy tooth. Don't quite like that, so press undo. Let's just undo that. Can I get it lined up with my mouth? Here we go. So that's kind of like a bit like my face at the moment with a tooth missing. And let's test that, shall we? Let's go back to the code and let's just. Okay, so I quite like that. That's quite effective. Then they're asking you to play around with this. So they've got lots of different effects in here. Press fisheye. That's neat. I like that. So what you can do is just change these different effects and see what the effect is on your stress ball. Okay, so let's add a backdrop to our project now. So backdrops kind of like sit behind our stress ball. So if you come to the backdrop option on the right hand side here and choose a backdrop, and we're looking for, well, you can use any of these if you like, but the one that we're looking for here in the project is Neon Tunnel. So I come up to the top here and I can type neon, N-E-O-N, and it finds it, click on it, and that adds Neon Tunnel to my project. If I want to put my sprite a bit more in the middle of the page, I just need to click on him and just drag him into the right place. Another challenge now, how can we improve your project? Well, so what you can do is you can add different sprites to your project, you can add different costumes. So another thing we can do is you can obviously duplicate the ball sprite. So if I right click on the ball and duplicate, then I get another ball. If I go to the costume on one of those balls, let's just change it to that, and then we need to again draw the eyes on. So that was the fill tool, pick a color, then go for the outline, pick an outline, draw, big face. Let's give it some hair. Paintbrush. Give it some hair. Right, now when we click on our sprite, got different things going on. So we've got the code on that one. Change it to whirl. Okay, and then the other thing you can do if you wanted to is you can add another sprite into your project. So let's pick a, oh, I don't know, you can pick anything you like. Let's pick a dinosaur. That looks interesting. I can copy the code from my ball. So I grab hold of this block of code here, come down. When the tile shakes and I let go, the code will then be copied into the dinosaur sprite. He says it hasn't. I had my finger on the wrong place. Come back. I grab hold of that. When the tile shakes like that, do you see a little shake? And let go now. When I go to the dinosaur sprite, that code is there. If I click on it, the only thing he does is changes the size. That's because it doesn't know what squeaky toy sound is, because the squeaky toy sound was only on the ball. If I press the drop down there, there's a pop sound there. Can we make him whirl? Actually, he's quite big, isn't he? So let's say it changes the original. When he finishes, his size down to 100. And click. So we've now got 3 different sprites on our project doing different things. Okay, what's the next thing to do? The next project we're going to be looking at, or the next project that I'll be coding with you, is going to be the butterfly garden. Give you a quick demonstration of the butterfly garden. So I'm just going to make a nice peaceful program that doesn't have very much interaction. It's just butterflies that are flying around, but there's quite a nice bit of coding going on in that. Right, well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed doing the Stressball project. Don't forget, give me your feedbacks down below. Don't forget, if you want to share your project with us, you can press the share option, which I'll show you now. So to share a project, if you press the share button, and this needs to be done with an adult present just to make sure you don't get yourself into trouble, up comes a window saying how to give some instructions to a person. So instructions are click on the sprites. Notes and credits is where you can say where you've got any particular notes you need to make or acknowledgements to people. So I'm going to put on here from Raspberry Pi Stressball project, and I think we should turn commenting off so that people can't leave comments on your project. But we can do comments on your code on your project within the Facebook page. Okay, and then the way you can, so because that project's been shared, if you highlight the name at the top there and post that into the Facebook, we can then see what your projects that you've done are. Right then, hope that all made sense. Look forward to seeing you on the next session. Bye!